Hi, I'm Nick Flanders-Farmer, and this is my second work in progress video for MAGI Studio One. So this week I've predominantly been working more on my physics system for my skateboarding, for my game bearings. The context behind these types of systems comes mainly from skateboarding games, so Session or Tony Hawk or Skate, as well as an element of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is the shield surfing mechanic. I bring this up because, unlike the other examples, this is more of exploring a landscape and riding down mountains and hills and that sort of thing, which really sort of relates to my game a bit more, I would say, than the more urbanized skating games that I mentioned earlier. So I have been working more on the system that I've been developing. I have a basic model of a skateboard in Unity, which I have applied physics and wheel gliders to. So I'm getting pretty happy with how it's working. The mass of the board itself seems pretty realistic, and the wheel gliders seem to be working quite well. However, I'm having one issue where my board rolls down half of this half pipe, and then back up to the other end, and then just freezes instead of naturally rolling to and fro until it finally reaches an endpoint at the center. This is an issue with the wheel colliders themselves. I feel like there might be something baked into them where they're only really good for going in one direction. However, I'm exploring ways to undo this and to have my board roll in both directions. That said, it's not really the end of the world if this isn't a possibility. At the end of the day, the player is going to be in control. So if they reach a point where they are with their back to the downslope of the hill, they can turn around or they can accelerate forward and move out of that situation. As a part of this test, I got rid of half of this half pipe and turned it more into a ramp, just to sort of see how this board would really go out on its own, if that makes sense. So I did a few tests, let it roll down the quarter pipe, off the ramp, and then just off into the distance. The board flows really nicely. The motion of it is really good, so I'm pretty happy with where it is in that respect. So now I would like to give it a go on a more organic landscape, just to sort of see how it can handle bumps, to see whether it bounces too much or not enough, and see if it really gets stuck anywhere. Part of this testing was also trying to implement some sort of player control. So I put in an acceleration function, so you click the mouse and it just gives it a little boost of acceleration, sort of to emulate pushing with your foot as you skate. I also attempted to get some sort of steering or handling onto the board, but I sort of struggled with this a bit. I actually have an older project that I worked on over the summer break, which was just a very simple driving game, just a car going around a flat plane. So I might refer back to that and pick up some of the code that I used in that and bring it into this game. And then obviously adapt and modify it to be more like a skateboard than a car. So from here, it's still just more about testing and refining the physics of my board, and trying to get some controls in that feel right. However, my goal for week 6 was more just to have a prototype of this board rolling down a mountain on its own. So having the foundation of the environment and the motion of the board set up. So I'm probably going to focus this week more on the environment itself and develop it into something a little bit more than just a blob of polygons. Try and make it into a somewhat recognizable landscape. That's all for me today. Thank you for listening.